Hi everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make binary digit style electro techno with a little bit of a trance flavor. You can grab this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything from this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It's the best template for this style on the market. You'll make the best track of your life. Today, if you grab this, I promise you, I've seen it happen. Thanks for the support, everybody. And let's dive in. Alright, so we're at 142 BPM, pretty fast, right? And really the first thing here would be the 808 drums. Now this is programmed all in Ableton, right? But it obviously sounds pretty much just like an 808 drum machine. And I think that's very unique with these tracks. He's not always just trying to get the fattest, most modern, hard-hitting kick or the craziest this or that. It's just like a nice grooving 808. So it really starts with having, the main drums right. Like you have to still have a pretty fat 808 kick. Still cutting the sub a little. Layering the clap and the snare together to get it as fat as possible. The hi-hat is also nice and short and punchy. Right, so it grooves well with that kick. And we got some... Now you see how the shaker and the hi-hat kind of fit together and create a rhythm by having the hi-hat kind of dip out on some of those notes? Plus we got an 808 rim shot, so it's very simple, but it's still actually pretty effective. And the other thing too is like keeping it simple, like the rim shot's all you really need in between the hi-hats. Because there is a lot happening with these synths. You don't need a whole lot of mid-range information in the drums that can get in the way. So after the drums, then we have this bass synth. So here's the MIDI for this, right? So it's this repetitive, just one bar rhythm, like that's the pattern, and then just putting that across different chords. So we're in the key of A sharp minor here. We're doing root note, minor third, fifth, sixth, seventh, and that seventh is gonna walk us back up to the root note really easily, right? But obviously, there's a lot of groove to be created here with the bass because you do have the drums so simple. Like you can just have that bouncing off the kick like that, and so much of the groove is happening there, and then you add these drums. It doesn't take much to really get that groove going. Now for the actual sound here, it's made with wavetable. We've got a saw wave and then this harmonics 4. A low pass filter which has an envelope as well as an LFO moving it around. Phase sync unison. Which you can hear when I turn it off. That phase sync unison does give it a lot of that texture that you probably are hearing from this, plus some drum bus, which is only at 52%, so we're not overdoing it. We're just adding that little bit of like oomph to the bass. So here's the chords. We are following the same progression I just showed you with the bass. So A sharp minor, C sharp major, F minor, F sharp major, G sharp major, and then walk back up to that A sharp minor. These are just basic major and minor chords. I've taken the thirds, which would normally be there, and put them up an octave, which you can hear, makes it sound a bit more futuristic. This is a patch using Ableton's Drift, which is the new one, and I'm pretty sure it's in literally every single version of Ableton, not just Suite, so that's really good. What's happening here is we got two oscillators. One is a sine wave, which is 2 octaves up from the square wave here, so you're getting like almost like an organ sort of sound. There's a little bit of detune and some shape mod. I've brought up the noise a little bit. We got the filter there. You can see there's a little bit of envelope too on the filter, just kind of like giving it a lot of character because it's moving that around, right? The amp envelope is set like that. Then, yeah, you can see we've just got a bit of chorus, bit of delay, reverb, and then a high pass filter. Then we've got this first little melody here. So this is just playing this little melody in A sharp minor. If you play it with the chord progression, you can hear it just creates a really great groove with that, as well as it works with it really well musically because it's not following the chord progression, but it's in that same key and really tightly locked to it, so it's going to work really well. These are actually really simple voices, too, that we're using. We're literally just using root note, minor third, fifth, right? So we've already used those voices just for chords, but then we're also adding in this ninth here. And then up here, it's root, 6, 5. So very basic, but then going up that gives it something nice. For the sound on this one is also drift, so we're using 2 saw waves. One is 2 octaves up. We've got a tiny bit of LFO pitch mod, and also an LFO on oscillator 1 shape. So that's why you see this moving and you can hear it, right? We get the amp envelope set, just very punchy. And then just a bit of delay. And then the last sound we have down here is actually in the sampler. So this is like this bouncy melody here. So this is, again, just following the key, you know. In this case, though, what's happening is we're kind of using the 5th as a root note. Like, since we're in the key of A sharp minor, right? This F is technically the 5th. That's technically the 7th. That's the 9th. Right, so we're kind of like playing that almost like it's in the key of F minor. Right, but it's fitting really well with this A sharp minor because that F minor would just be the 5th, right? Now for the sound, I'm using the sampler where I've got this little piece of audio, this ARP 5th here, and then you can see we're basically just using like a little bit of a filter on it, unsetting the amp envelope, nothing too crazy, but I like using the audio synths. It's not always about sound designing from scratch because you get a lot of texture with these audio synths. Like, it sounds like something very old school and warm, so it's going to fit really well with this type of track. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything from this video is available at the top of the description. Thank you so much for the support, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.